Now get the story. The post-World War II division. After the World War II, Germany was divided into 4 occupation zones controlled by the US and UK and France, and again the Soviet Union. Berlin, though located deep within Soviet-controlled East Germany, was also split among the 4 powers. And who are the 4 powers? US, UK, France, and Soviet Union. This division became the bias, became the basis, became the reason for the split between democratic Western Germany and communist East Germany. By the late 1950s, millions of East Germans fled to the west part of Germany through Berlin, seeking better economic opportunities and political freedom. The brain drain alarmed the East German government and the Soviet Union. What did they do? Then, on August 13, 1961, East Germany, backed by the USSR, erected the Berlin Wall overnight. And that is what we're seeing here. But the original one has been broken. You see, now we are now seeing the kind of documentary and symbolic wall. After building the wall, families were divided and crossing between East and West was nearly impossible without government approval. The wall became a global symbol of the war, of the Cold War, representing the divide between the communism and capitalism. Fall of the wall. What we are seeing here is the broken part, not the general one. Anyway, it has already fallen. Amid growing public protests and political reforms across Eastern Europe, East Germany faced mounting pressure. On November 9, 1989, after a government announcement mistakenly implied opened borders, crowds swamped the wall and gas allowed people to cross freely. The wall was soon dismantled, making a key moment in the collapse of communism in the Eastern Europe. The fall of the Berlin Wall paved the way for German unification in 1990. Today, remnants of the war remains as a powerful reminder of division, resistance, and the eventual freedom. And that is why today we are coming here as a remembrance or a kind of having a look at it. So now, let's move around, as is a symbolic event. It's not just a thing of a little event. Many people come as you look around and you see. We have to enter inside it because initially you cannot enter here.
It's mostly you can't get
as the story has it. You know, these are almost like, to call it the eastern part of the Berlin Wall. I mean the Berlin, and then this is the western part. And of course, we know fairly correctly from the history that the West were dominated, as I've said before, dominated by the communist USSR, while the eastern part dominated by the communists, by the USSR, supported by that, while the western part was supported by UK, France, America, and they seem to have a concept of democracy, and they try to control the people and try to let the people embrace opportunities, let the people embrace freedom. But this other part of the Germany was not like that. But then when they now looked at and noticed that their brothers and sisters from other side, they were better off, what did they do? They started sneaking into the western part. And when the government found out, as at the time, they built this wall. Look at it. But it's no longer the wall as we know it. It is now something else because it was broken as the starting point. So we just come as a kind of to see. So in other words, that should be considered as Eastern Germany, which you don't have right to enter as at that time, because just like a Cold War, you know, between America, UK, France, and then trying to dominate whichever side after the Second World War. And then they started the Cold World War. So now we are just in Germany. Crossover from this side to that side. So look at it, the wall there. You can see they build a wall to demarcate their people from crossing over to the other part of German, just like Eastern and West. So we are just walking. I'm walking uh, along the wall. It was built. It was built to prevent people of this side from joining this side. And that is the funniest part of the politics as at the time. And that is why when we talk about Berlin Wall, it represents resistance. It represents protest. People protesting against the government of the day that is not favoring them. Because the other side saw that the life from in this other side, at this other side, is better off because it's more of a democracy, it's more of freedom, it's more of capitalism, if I may use the word. But they are there controlled by the communists. They are not seeing life. They are not comfortable about the way it is. So what did they do? They started sneaking into this world. So that is why sneaking into this part of Germany. That is why the government of the day, as at the time, built this wall to stop them from entering. History is very interesting. It's a sign of they wanted, and that because they know what they wanted, because they know what they wanted, they resisted the government of the day. And today, Germany remains one of the most one of the richest country we can think of in the world of today. Why? Because the people, they know what they wanted and protested what they wanted was not given to them. Okay, so we're just walking at the wall. And I think there should be a river somewhere there, right? Yeah, because the wall was meant to prevent them from getting into Eastern Germany, entering into Western Germany. And there was also a river. There was also a river. What's that place? Uh-huh. Oh, the river is here? Was it not the place we went the other time? Are we going to see the river? Huh? So we can go. Oh, that is very interesting. The wall is still going as we speak. A long kind of a very long wall built to demarcate, built to prevent one part of the Germany from there is a river here. Oh dear. You see how nature even demarcated it itself because there's a river here. And in this river, imagine the other side, jumping into the river, you may die if you jump. because the river is very deep. Then they also built the wall to stop people from the wall we just came from, to stop people from joining. This is politics, of course, you know, between the United States and the UK and France, who are all together after the Second World War. And then USSR, because Soviet Union, some part of Germany joined them, while some part joined the democracy, if I may use the word. Okay, so you see that. Look at the other side, part of. Look at it. You see that? They are all the same people. They are all the same Germany, but politics demarcated them as at the time. Politics between the superpower and the two powers, USSR and the United States and their allies. You see, this is very interesting, very, very interesting. Last time I was able to go to, and the word is so long. It's not just some word that you just come and embrace or just see it as it was. No, the word was demolished because they needed freedom. And because they needed freedom, they destroyed it. But now, what we are seeing today is a symbolic aspect of it, symbolic part of the war. And that is what we see today. See, as so many people have written something on it. A lot was written. And what is the reason for writing it? So look at the wall. See, more going. See, going.